Hello and welcome back to Step by Step, hosted by yours truly, Frederick Smith. Today I want to talk to you about, make a discussion rather, about an incident that happened in Louisville, Kentucky that was brought to my attention, and I really hadn't heard anybody around this area talking about it, and I brought it up a few times and people seem not to know anything about it, so I thought I'll bring it to the masses and spread this information. It's about a police officer. His name is Todd Shaw there in Louisville, Kentucky. He actually, I had a encounter with this officer when I lived there in Louisville. For those who don't know, I lived in Louisville for almost 10 years. I have my daughter, Monet, that's still there now. But it's about a police officer named Todd Shaw. He worked for the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department for a long time. And he got hired on at a police department in Prospect, Kentucky. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about the Louisville metropolitan area, Prospect is a suburban town right outside of Louisville. It's more of an affluent, mainly Caucasian area. That doesn't really matter, but it's an affluent area. So Todd Shaw had got a job there as the assistant police chief. Now, I would guess going into a police department that they do kind of a thorough background. You would guess, right? So this guy was training cadets. And during this training session, one of the cadets over Facebook sent him some questions. And the questions range from, if I encounter a black person, black teens smoking marijuana, what would I do in a situation like that? And the police officer told the cadet to shoot them. And he said, if you have an encounter with their parents, make them do a sex act. But if the father is black, don't worry about it, just shoot him. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Now, mind you, that the hierarchy or the leadership in this police department said they didn't know anything about it. But this was all over this guy's Facebook page, to the point to whereas he had pictures on there of an artistic young man wearing a T-shirt saying that at least I'm not the N-word. As if, being artistic was better than being black, the N-word. He also had other painting and pictures of derogatory things that he was saying on his Facebook page. Martin Luther King, he said that Martin Luther King was shot, so hey, that's a good thing because they get a day off with pay. These are the things that he was saying on his Facebook page. Now, mind you, you would think if you're going to be a police officer, that's one of the things they would want to see is your Facebook page and your social media accounts to make that shows the character of a person. I thought they give you lie detector tests and all this, so undoubtedly it must have been one of these situations where if I know the right people, I don't have to be subjected to these type of things. But I want you all to watch the video and tell me what you think about it down below. I want you to leave some remarks and let's talk about it and see how you feel about some of the stuff that he said. Let's watch the video. I'll be right back.
Former assistant police chief tells an LMPD recruit to, quote, shoot black people.
WDRB's Katrina Helmer tonight explains how the disturbing Facebook messages came to light and why the officer wasn't fired right away. Katrina.
These messages are graphic, racist, and sexual. But Prospect's mayor says he had to follow the Policeman Bill of Rights before taking any action. Dark, secret words uncovered.
Probably the most disgusting thing I've seen come out of the mouth of a police officer.
While looking into another criminal investigation, Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell discovered these private Facebook messages between now former Assistant Police Chief of Prospect Todd Shaw and an LMPD recruit. A meme shows Elmer Fudd with a gun and an offensive sign. Another shows a boy with a disability wearing a shirt with a racial slur.
Anyone who shares such blatant racist views should not be given a badge or a gun.
In another message, the recruit asks what to do if he catches juveniles smoking marijuana. Shaw responds, F the right thing. If black, shoot them. Then Shaw suggests having sex with the juvenile's parents. Unless daddy is black, then shoot him.
How could anybody say these things?
The Prospect Police Department hired Shaw, a former LMPD officer, in 2012.
He had a clean record.
Then, August 31st of last year, the Jefferson County attorney sent Prospect Mayor John Evans this letter, including parts of the Facebook messages.
And I was shocked.
Evans immediately told the Prospect police chief, who put Shaw on paid suspension for nearly 3 months while he investigated the Facebook messages.
Oh, he had to take time because there was a lot of material to go through.
Then November 20th, the police chief had an interview with Shaw, and that's when Shaw resigned.
Why wasn't he fired as soon as you guys found out?
Because the law doesn't work that way.
Mayor Evans says he knew Shaw.
My only impression of Todd was that he was a bit of a character.
But the mayor says there was nothing to give him any inclination Shaw would say things like this, and he got choked up talking about it.
This is, I know, upsetting for you.
Very, very. I'm so proud of this town.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
24 cases involving Shaw as an officer are expected to be dismissed because of these messages.
The effect it has on the criminal justice system, if this goes unnoticed and unchecked, is extraordinarily serious and could affect rights of a lot of people. But
We got blindsided. That's what it is. We just got blindsided.
The LMPD recruit involved in these messages is no longer with the department. Shaw fought to keep these messages private, but a judge decided to release them. Reporting live in Prospect, I'm Katrina Helmer, WDRB News.
Okay, now I'm back. Now let me say this. Now I'm quite sure some of you guys are probably very upset and kind of the ones who are seeing this for the first time. You know, you're probably kind of upset about this like I was when I first saw it. But, you know, this is just something that's been exposed, right? But just imagine what is happening that we don't know about. You know, I mean, it's a lot going on behind closed doors and in these police departments and in these courthouses and courtrooms and the back rooms that we don't know about. And just imagine if all that stuff was exposed. It was just one of those things that just happened to be, you know, get caught in the crosshairs. But we need to start taking this stuff serious, people. This is something that's really affecting our neighborhoods and our children, our family members. And we need to take this very serious. We need to start really realizing that how much power we have in our vote. I know a lot of people still out there saying they don't vote because, oh, it's not going to make a difference. Well, go vote anyway. You know, just go do it anyway. You know, I mean, just in case, you know, your vote count, please. I mean, we need to start talking about this. This is something we need to start bringing up things at our kitchen tables, at our deacons meeting, at our choir rehearsals, any kind of gathering. If you're at the nightclub, bring it up. Bring this stuff up during the football game. We need to get out and vote. We need to talk to our people. Let me tell you something. We got the right to vote, right? But then what happened? Start to flood all the black men straight into the judicial system, getting them, picking them up for little things, charging them for felonies. Then what? Once you get the felonies going, they can't vote. And our black men are falling into this myth that we got to be these hardcore gangster type guys. I fell into that myth. And that's not what it's about. You know, we've got to get back to the basics. We really got to reel this thing in, people. We got to break this chain of destruction in our communities. We have to, and we got to do it now. This is going to be for another show I got coming up, but I just found out today, and I need to research it some more. That's why I'm not going to go too much in depth with it today. But I just found out that some school districts have pacts, if you will, with the police department, that if their children get rowdy or something happens, instead of the police being brought in to charge them or lock them up for misdemeanor counts and things like that, that they have a pact with the police department, these school boards, to not arrest their children. And one of the representatives that was speaking about it said, well, they didn't want their children to have to go through situations where they would have things on their records at a young age, misdemeanor charges or even felony charges on their age as a teen. And I was saying, wow. But you can imagine what neighborhoods and what school districts this was going on in. So I want to research that a little bit further and see, is that something across the board? Now, when I was coming up, that wasn't part of our, we didn't have a pact with anybody. You know, if the police was called over there, you know, you was probably going to jail. So I just got to look into that a little bit further before I could do a show on it. But listen, if you know somebody today that's probably suffering with some type of loneliness or just going through something hard, let me say this to you. You know, I don't go around beating people across the head with the Bible. I don't. But I try to reach a person where they are. You know, I don't try to go in trying to sound like I'm so sophisticated and saying things to them that they probably are not going to hear. I want to find out where they are, and I want to meet them where they are, and bring them and try to introduce them to Jesus in a slow but in a calculating way, to whereas they would know and understand that Jesus is not here to hurt us. Jesus is not here to, you know, have us in boot camp and, you know, and we have to live this life to whereas we feel confined. No, when Jesus gave us liberty, he gave us freedom to live, freedom to believe, freedom to breathe. No matter what's going on in this world, they can't take away what you have within your heart. Only you can allow that to happen is by giving it to them. And one way to combat that is to accept Jesus in your life as your Lord and Savior. Trust me, I know how scary it is. I did it. You know, I thought maybe that, you know, I was going to, you know, be living a boring, crazy life. But that's far. When I used to drink, I used to think, if I quit drinking, man, I'm just going to be bored to death. I'm not going to have nothing to do. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me. When I quit drinking, the people that shouldn't have been in my life disappeared. Didn't miss them. Because they were there for destruction. They were leading me or enticing me to do things that was out of my character. But when I quit drinking, my life changed for the better. I started making better decisions. I started hanging around better people. I really found a whole lot of things that I could do with my life that I really enjoyed. I started to find out who I really was. So I say that to say this: give Jesus a try. Give him a try. I'm not going to try to preach to you and hoop at you. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to encourage someone, because I see a lot of my friends and loved ones that are really seeking Christ. And those of you who've been out there and understand and have walked that walk, be there for them with open arms when they need somebody to talk to. Make yourself available to them. Don't be ashamed to go stand there with them and talk with them for a second. You know, especially in these small rural towns. Take a little time out of your schedule and go out and mingle. Get to know your neighbors and let them know that you're a Christian, and let them know that, hey, I'm not here to beat you down. I'm here to love you. I'm here to help restore you. I want to introduce you to a man named Jesus that helped me. This man helped me. Jesus helped me. He saved me, and he can save you too. I'm going to leave it here, but God bless you. Now, I want you to leave some comments. I want to hear what you're thinking. I want to know what you think about this video that I put up, and I want to hear your remarks on what you think and your encounters, if you've had any encounters that you've dealt with. Oh, by the way, yeah, I told you I was going to tell you about Todd Shaw. Years ago, I remember I told you I was drinking. I got a DUI, and he was the police officer that pulled me over and arrested me and took me to jail. And I knew there was something wrong with that guy then, because he told me, I remember that night when he came up to me, he knew I had been drinking. He said, well, go ahead and leave. So I'm thinking he's telling me to leave. So, hey, I go and get in my truck, start it up, and start down the street. I got maybe about 4 or 5 blocks, and blue lights went everywhere. He had coffee bag up and everything. And he pulled me over and he said, well, I told you to leave, but I didn't tell you to drive. And so, you know, I fell fell into that little loop. But I just wanted to tell you guys about Todd Shaw. I had my dealings with him, but I want you to leave some comments. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. You know, come on, people. I need your support. Subscribe. I want you to give me thumbs up. And you have my email address. It's step-by-step, the letter Q, the number 1 at gmail.com. If you have some ideas or some things that you want maybe me to have on the show, I'll put it together and do so. My Twitter account is at step-by-step-Q1. And we're going to do some live shows here pretty soon where you can call in and speak with us. I'm going to have more guests on the show. I'm working on that right now as we speak. But I want you to comment. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe, share. I want you to be involved. Join the conversation. Be a part of what we're trying to do here step by step. God bless you. We love you. We're not trying to judge you. And you have a good day. This is Frederick Smith again with Step by Step. See you next time.